Alright, welcome back to the garage, everyone. We got a few days before the carburetor parts that I ordered arrive in the mail, so in the meantime we're going to make the best use of our time. So here we are. I've decided I definitely want to go ahead and remove that intake manifold and take a peek inside my intake ports. Plus it just needs a paint job, so it'll look a lot nicer with a nice fresh coat of Cadillac blue on it. First step in this process is to partially remove the air conditioning compressor. According to the factory service manual, you can do this and still leave the air conditioning lines connected without causing too much havoc. So anyway, so what we're going to do here, I've already loosened the bolts on the power steering pump. You've got, let's see, I'll show you exactly where they are. That guy right there, you got to loosen that one. You got to loosen that one. You've got to loosen that one right down there, and there's one more underneath, and you can't see it. You got to reach way down in the chasm, and I can put my finger on it. It's basically directly below the power steering pump. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts to loosen before this guy will come loose. So boom, like that. Now our belts are loose. We can take our belts off of the air conditioning compressor, and then the next step will be to loosen the bolts on the back of the compressor and on the front. And I'm going to do one of two things. I'll either get myself some blocks of wood or something and kind of prop it up or something. I'll probably need to get this hose out of the way to do all that. Or I may grab a hold of that with some rope and run it up there against the wall somewhere. And basically all I want to do is take that compressor and kind of pull it up that way, you know, just a little bit, and get it out of our way so we can get this intake manifold off. I'm going to do the fuel system in its entirety first. I don't want to dive off into too many things at one time, right? I want to get one thing done at a time, and that thing right now is the fuel system. The air conditioning system will come afterwards. All right, so let me go ahead and get these two belts off of here, and I'll start. And then after that, I will start loosening the air conditioning compressor. Here's where we are. So we've got a on the back here we had a nut that was 5/8, and we had two 9/16 bolts, one on this side and one directly opposite on the other side, and we have two 1/2-inch bolts on the front, one right down here. I've already got the other one off of the other side, so let me get this last bolt off and see if we can't get this compressor moved out of the way. So before I do that, I'll have to take this hose off. And I've got a catch pan under the car to catch any coolant that might come out of the hose. Astonishingly, we didn't get any coolant on the floor. Well, maybe a couple of drops. Alright, so I got the coolant drained out of that hose. Just disconnect it on the thermostat end and get it off the car. Alright, continuing on with dismantling this thing. So we've got the upper radiator hose removed from the vehicle. We got the compressor loosened up front and back, so we'll be moving this thing out of the way here pretty soon. But got the coil out of the way, got those wires disconnected, got the wiring harness along the valve cover removed, or not removed, just moved out of the way toward the back of the engine. I've been moving vacuum lines out of the way. I've got this one vacuum line here that goes to the intake manifold. Anyway, look at this. Let me get that wiring harness right there. Let me get that out of the way. And then we'll see about getting this compressor out of the way before we start taking bolts out of that intake manifold. Alright, so we got our intake manifold off the old 472 here. Let's take a look down inside. That looks pretty well carboned up to me. Alright, here's the driver's side. Well, let's see if we can zoom in on that one. Yeah, we're gonna have to find a way to clean these ports out here, get this carbon off these intake valves. There's our nasty water inlet there and our thermostat. All that'll get cleaned up as well. We've got a job cut out for us here, folks. I've got to do a lot of cleaning. I got to figure out what we're going to do about the carbon down in these ports. And in a perfect world, I'd probably just take the heads off the motor and just send them off and have them redone just for the hell of it. Well, we're getting there. Comically, I got tired of manhandling this stupid thing, and I put it on a rollaway dolly, and it's like I think I should win the Clever Award for that one. Anyway, really helped me out a lot. I've been working on this thing quite a lot. I didn't really know how rusty this daggum thing was until I started digging into it. I got this top area right here where the carburetor sits cleaned up real nice, and but you know, getting down in the little nooks and crannies is kind of a challenge, so I'm going to have to get some wire brushes for my die grinder. Can't really get down in there with sanding. I did pour some vinegar down in these nooks and crannies, but I didn't feel like waiting 2 days to have it work, so I said to heck with it, and I poured it out and dried it off, and I just started sanding on this old intake manifold. One of the things that I noticed about it, especially on the back and the rear edges, underneath on the bottom side down here, man, this thing is just basically razor sharp. You get to be really careful with this thing. So I'm going to come in here with a little hand file, and just chamfer that bottom edge, front and rear. And I'll probably come in here and chamfer these ports just a little bit, just to take that little bit of casting ledge off of there. So it's kind of interesting looking at an old Cadillac intake manifold. You know, one of the features that I really like is, I don't know how many companies did this. I guess a lot of them did. I really don't know though. They put the firing order right there on the back of the intake manifold. That's pretty cool. And of course they number the ports for you. And so, like on the Cadillacs, you'll notice that number 1 is on the left-hand side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. You know, a lot of GM products. I know, well, Chevy, I know, you know, number 1 is always over there. But yeah, whatever. Half dozen one or the other. You can see this. This is a stainless steel insert down in the manifold. It's used to house the divorce choke there. So that's kind of interesting. Cleaning up pretty well. Anyway, so I'm gonna. At this point, this stage in the game, it really doesn't matter what grit you use. I'm just using whatever I've got in my drawer in there. I'll just use it up, and then probably go to Harbor Freight and buy some more. And but I'll need to get some brushes though to get down in these little like down in there, you know, to get the rust out of there. I'd like to get it really cleaned up real nice before I start painting with Cadillac blue. And so, incidentally, I did buy 3 cans of Cadillac blue engine paint from Caddy Daddy, and the price was really nice. Well, not really, but the paint's supposed to be spot on correct blue. Now, you've probably noticed in my previous video where I painted the valve covers, that blue just isn't right. At first, when I started painting it, I thought it was, and I figured, well, after it dries, it'll darken up. Well, that was stupid. It's just not going to, right? So it's the wrong shade. So while we're at it, we're going to be repainting the valve covers with the new Cadillac blue that I got from Caddy Daddy. So anyway, all right, I'm going to get back at this, get this intake manifold, get it cleaned up, get the rough edges taken off with a file, and then we're going to get some paint on it. All right, we're on our way to the local soda blasting place. All right, so here's the deal with the soda blasting. I worked on that intake manifold for quite some time. Sanding discs, paint removal discs. I had a small handheld siphon-fed media blaster, and I got, I don't know, probably 75 or 80% of the rust and stuff off of it. But eventually I took the advice of a friend of mine, and we're just going to take this thing downtown And we're going to take it to a soda blasting shop, and we're going to have it cleaned up really, really nice. So more later. All right, here we are at the soda blasting place. This place is, they do all kinds of stuff. We got a guy over here running, going to do some furniture right there. And you can see all the blasting media and these huge blasting cabinets they have here. Pretty cool place. All right, so this is the material they're going to use. This is actually made by Arm & Hammer, he said. I believe. This is actually baking soda. It's soda. When they say soda blasting, they mean soda, right? So this granulation is a little more coarse than sounds like they fired up the blaster over there. It's a little more coarse than what you buy in the store, you know, for your household use. But anyway, baking soda, that's what they're going to use. Here's an old, looks like an old cast iron stove they're working on here. And it looks like an old project pickup truck somebody's been working on. Looks like these guys did some blasting on the body of this one. Got it all cleaned up. It's an old Chevelle sitting over there. And there's the guy right there. Alright, there he goes. That's our Cadillac 472 intake being media blasted with baking soda. Holy cow, it's loud. Alright, the nice man just brought my intake back to me. Let me tell you what, this is some of the best money I ever spent. Look at that, folks. I mean, look at that. Isn't that not fantastic? Holy cow. And today, we're going to take this thing right home, and we're going to get Cadillac blue on it, and it's going to look fantastic. Alright, here we go. We're back from the soda blasting place, and we're going to put a coat of Cadillac blue from Caddy Daddy on our 472 intake manifold. Slow and easy. First coat, real light dusting. We don't want to make any mistakes, and we don't want any runs. Alright, painting is sort of like watching, well, paint dry. So next thing you're going to see is basically a brand new intake manifold. Alright everyone, I think I'm going to call this a video. We got this intake manifold off of the 472. We got it cleaned up. We took it downtown. We had it soda blasted, and it looked really, really nice. And finally, we put a nice fresh coat of Cadillac blue on it. Got the paint from Caddy Daddy, and I'll have to say that I was pretty impressed with the quality of the paint. The color is right. The cohesion is good. The coverage is good. There's no runs. Well, I suppose that is attributable to the painter, but anyway, it was pretty good paint, and I recommend it. And I'll put the link in the description below. So, hey, look, we're going to call this a video. Appreciate you guys stopping by my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video, don't forget to click that little bell down below. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.